Welcome to In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. It is August 7th, 2021. What a day today at Paul Brown Stadium. Joe Burrow basically was about as honest and candid as any player in a professional sport as I've ever heard.
Yeah, I would say right now it's a mental thing that I'm just, getting back used to playing football again against top-level competition. Hopefully a couple more reps, a couple more days, we'll get back to my old self.
I mean, he got up and let everybody know that he's not himself right now. He's not comfortable in the pocket with bodies around him. It's affecting his accuracy. You have plateaus in different stages of rehabilitation. There are physical plateaus when you're doing the actual rehab after surgery, and mental plateaus as well that you have to fight through. And once you get out in the football field and you're getting back to trying to do what you have to do to be a football player in the National Football League, you can have physical and mental plateaus as well. And right now, he's just hit a plateau in terms of getting over having bodies around him. That is his strength. I mean, he just doesn't trust himself yet. And in any relationship, it's all built on trust, whoever the relationship's with, including the relationship with yourself. And if you don't have that trust, it's a tough dynamic to work through. Joe's always prided himself on feeling the pressure, not having to see the pressure. And right now, he's making an adjustment, trying to get back to that level of play.
Yeah, it's everything. It's just getting more comfortable in the pocket. Today we're going to have a bunch of people around me in 7-on-7 and in individual drills just to get that feeling back. That's kind of the last step for me, is just get my pocket presence back, understand when I'm pressured, when I'm not. Just getting that whole feeling back that I've been really good at for a long time.
Practices have always been, when they're doing individual drills, they'll put bodies holding dummies around Joe to try to get the feeling for him to have a feeling of people around him and closing space around him and that sort of thing. 11-on-11, obviously, when that started happening. But now that it's happening in pads and defensive linemen are in full equipment pushing the pocket, they're going to try to get as many reps for Joe Burrow as they possibly can with bodies around him. Even when they do 7-on-7. 7-on-7 is, we called it skeleton drill. There's no offensive or defensive line, and it's just the shell of the defense. The linebackers and defensive backs, corners and safeties are covering tight ends, wide receivers, and running backs, and quarterbacks throwing them the football, and there's no offensive or defensive line. As part of Joe's rehabilitation process, when they were going in individual drills, they would have bodies around him holding dummies to simulate him feeling the pocket squeeze on him. And then when they went 11-on-11, obviously that would happen. But when you're in shorts and T-shirts, that's one thing. When you got full pads on, the defensive line have full pads on. They've got shoulder pads, they've got helmets, and they're pushing the pocket in pass rush. It's a much different dynamic. So he's going through an adjustment period with that. And now they're going to go 7-on-7 and doing the same thing, having defensive backs out there covering safeties and corners, covering wide receivers and linebackers, covering tight ends, and DBs covering tight ends, linebackers covering running backs. That happens without offensive and defensive linemen. So now they're just going to have people out there, kind of simulating pressure in Joe's face. They're going to give him as many reps as they possibly can for him to get over the mental block that he's in, having to deal with that. And I believe that Joe Burrow is going to check that box. He's going to get through it. But the only one that can get through it is Joe, and Joe doing it rep after rep after rep. It is affecting his accuracy. There's no question about it. And he's really not scrambling much here at training camp, because he wants to get as many reps as he can of staying in the pocket and overcoming what's happening to him from a mental standpoint and making that adjustment. So there's always a ripple effect of surgery. The injury, the surgery, the rehabilitation. And the rehabilitation can take many, many forms, both physically and mentally. And Joe Burrow's in the final stages of both from a rehabilitation standpoint. And my money's on him getting through this and getting back to the player that he was, that he's always been. He feels like he's going to do that as well, but he's just having a little bit of a difficult time right now once that box is checked, the final box, though, is the big box as well. And that's getting hit in the game. And that's why, boy, do you play him in the preseason or not? If he's having a little bit of a mental block in terms of feeling bodies around him at this stage of training camp, maybe you do need to get him in there and just let him get through taking a hit, getting sacked, or getting hit after he throws the football, so he doesn't have to worry about that part of it from a mental block standpoint against the Minnesota Vikings in the opener. Because Mike Zimmer is going to bring every pressure known to man. He's not going to just rush 4 and drop 7 every snap. That's for sure. Rush 3 and drop 8. He's going to bring extra bodies. He's going to put a bunch of people at the line of scrimmage. He'll have probably 11 guys within a yard of the line of scrimmage, and not everybody will rush. Some people will drop. But the key with Mike Zimmer is you don't know which ones it is, which guy is rushing, which guy is dropping. So, that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback and the offensive line, and running backs and everybody in blitz pickup, and protecting Joe Burrow is going to be a premium against the Minnesota Vikings. So a team like that with a defensive-minded head coach, and his son Adam Zimmer is a co-defensive coordinator, and having both coached here with the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to have a game plan that's going to have every blitz known to man, every pressure known to man. So that's what you're gearing up for as a football team, and particularly at the quarterback position, that being Joe Burrow.